Hey guys, so here we are with another What's Sold video, and I have not done one of these in a long time, but today I had a little bit of free time, so I decided to get it done while I could. So as always, these videos are based on what I sold from the previous Monday all the way to Sunday, so 7 days straight of nothing but sales. And as always, I'm not going to include everything. I'm just going to include the stuff that sold for $20 or higher, because if I included everything that sold within the week, that would just take way too long of a video. And this week, I actually had $1,400 in sales. Now, that's not all profit. I'll talk more about the profit at the end of the video, but that was awesome. So let's get it started. The first thing that sold was this Taylor Swift corduroy hat. I had found that at the bins, and I almost didn't even get it because when I looked at it, I thought to myself, this might not even be that valuable. I looked it up right there on the spot. Turns out that thing was going for like between $20 and $25. I was like, wow. So actually, when that thing sold, that actually had paid for the entire bins haul in general. So that was awesome. The next thing was this North Face shirt. Now, funny enough, before it had sold, I had listed at $20 and I was getting offers like 15, 16, 14, and I was declining them. And then as time went on, I started to regret it because that shirt had been sitting there for like almost 2 months now. So I thought, damn, I should have just accepted the offer when I had the chance. And the next thing you know, like 2 days later, someone just buys it outright for $20 flat. So I guess it was a good thing that I didn't take the offer. Next thing, Travis Matthew. Now, to my surprise, I mentioned before too, in my opinion, I always thought as of now, Peter Millar and FootJoy were always some of the best ones to sell during the spring. I know there are better polos out there. Believe me, I'm well aware of them. I find them from time to time. But as far as like as common, you're more likely to find a FootJoy or Peter Millar than you are to find like a Roan or a Roback. Those are like some of the top polo shirts out there, or Lacoste for that matter. You're more likely to find those. And Travis Matthew. But yet Travis Matthew has a way better sell-through rate than Peter Millar, FootJoy, and Lacoste. That just blew my mind. I did not expect that. So now, whenever I go out thrifting, if I see Travis Matthew for a reasonable price, I'm going to pick it up 9 times out of 10. Next up, and we're just speaking of it, Peter Millar Summer Comfort $20. Like I said, Peter Millar is one of the safest brands out there. I don't pick up every Peter Millar. It needs to have the Summer Comfort line on it. Otherwise, it's most likely going to sit there unless you're going to price it down to $15 or $14. So that was a nice sale. The Derek Jeter jersey, I got that at the bins. I want to say maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. That one was sitting a while, but I knew that it would take a little while because it wasn't. I had found it during the Christmas time. Oh no, then that wasn't 1 or 2 months ago. That had to have been, I think like in late January. I know that's not Christmas time, but in late January when I picked that up. So that one took a little while. Next up we have the Jack Victor cashmere suit or blazer. Now, when I saw it, it didn't actually say Jack Victor on it. It had no logo on it. It just had the material and everything, which is good enough for me. As soon as I touched it, and that was at the bin, so I only paid like $2 for that thing. When I found it, as soon as I touched it, I said to myself, this has to be cashmere. Looked inside the material tag. I said 100% cashmere. So I had to do some research on it, and I did. I found the what are they? The RN numbers. So I had to look it up, and it said Jack Victor. I'm like, okay, Jack Victor. It's not a great blazer brand, but a decent one. But of course, it's the cashmere that gave it the value. So it sold for $35. Next up, the Izod Lacoste. That was another one. Not only did I find it at the bins, I sold that one within, I want to say, 2 hours of listing it. For actually, I had it for $25. Somebody offered $22.50. I said, you would just take it because, like I said, when that had sold, that paid for the entire haul from that particular day. Let's see. Moving on. Next thing that had sold was the Lafayette 148 cashmere turtleneck. I had that one. That one I took an offer for 25. I think I had listed at 35. But once again, that one was sitting around for almost 2 or 3 months. I just wanted to get rid of it. So when someone offered 25, I said take it because like I said, I got the bins for like $1. All right, so I was not not much of a loss. Clan Douglas 100% cashmere, Scottish cashmere. That one I did not take an offer. That one I had 30 and I was set at 30. And I knew it might take a little longer to sell than most cashmere, but I thought to myself, because of what it is, it's a vintage Scottish cashmere sweater. I'll just wait for the right buyer to come along, and they finally did. So that was awesome. The Hermenegildo Zinnia suit. Once again, I love the fact that people that go to the Goodwill bins that I go to, rarely do they ever go to the blazers. There could be a whole bin full of blazers and suits. They will ignore them completely like they don't exist, and I love that. Okay, because that leaves it so much easier for me. This one right here, I found at the bins. This one I was lucky that it actually came with the pants. I found the blazer, and then like 10 minutes later, I found the pants in a completely different bin. So put them both together, that's sold for $65. And the same thing with that Jack Victor Cashmere one that I just talked about. That was at the bins too. No one paid any mind to it. They left it alone. So that's the one positive thing about the bins that I go to. People don't really care about the blazers as much. See, Lululemon, forget the sweat shorts, $25. I said Lululemon, I mentioned before, it's hit or miss because apparently when I started reselling, the Lululemon value's just been slowly going down. According to all the resellers I watched, there was a time when Lululemon was king or queen. Was like you could not go wrong. Anything you found with them was going to sell no matter what. That's no longer the case. I can vouch for that. So, I once again, I definitely when I'm at the bins, I have left Lululemon behind if it's not in that great condition. Next up, Columbia Omni Heat pants. I don't pick up Columbia that often. There's only two conditions. Either one, if it's obviously new with tags, maybe then I'll get it. If it's cashmere, but I don't think Columbia would make cashmere. So if I ever found one that was cashmere, I would get it. And of course, the Omni Heat set, whether it be the jacket or the pants, because every time I find it, and I, of course that too also was at the bins, it sells for between 40 and 60. I have sold, I want to say, four, maybe five different Omni Heat Columbia pieces, and they all sell for in that area. Let's see here. Next up, we have the North Face jacket, vintage jacket. Now that one I had priced up because at the time I did find that one actually in December because I remember that was like just before Christmas, and I thought to myself this would be an awesome Christmas gift for somebody. And of course, because I was so fairly new, I priced it like at $50. I got a few hits here and there, but nobody was really interested in it. I mean, I think they were saying offers like 25 and 30 and whatnot. And then as time went by, now we're in May, about to be in June. So when somebody offered 25, so just take it because it's just gonna sit there, and or if anything, the value is gonna keep going down. So just to get rid of it. Plus, I got it at the bins for like $2, so it's not really that much of a loss. Next up, Lululemon men's vent shirt. Another example of something that's sold within like 2 hours of listing it. That thing did not take long to sell it off. $22, a very fast flip from the bins. Next up, I just mentioned this too. Laura Piana, Hickey Freeman, Laura Piana, cashmere uh, blazer. Once again, at the bins, $2. Nobody was going after it. I'm digging through the bins. I feel, or I see the blazer. I touch it. I feel it. I'm like, this has to be cashmere, and I was right. And it sold $40 flat. Next up, probably I think this was the biggest sale of the week. The Brooks Brothers Country Club Laurel Piana blazer for $85. And that one was not the bin. That one was at a regular retail. But when I found it, it was for $10, which is I don't usually spend that much money on something that I plan to flip, unless it's something really nice. And when I saw that a Brooks Brothers Country Club Laurel Piana, I thought I just saw dollar signs over it, and that took about I want to say a month and a half to sell, but I had no problem waiting. $85, awesome flip. Let's see. Next up, I just talked about this too earlier about the polo shirts. Roan. I know Travis Matthew, Peter Millar, Footjoy, Lacoste. You know, when you think polo shirts, those are probably the best ones in the spring. Now, they're not the best as far as like the value. Roan right here, it's $35. Now, this was a button-down shirt, but they do make polos as well. Roan and Rollback are definitely a much higher value. I don't think I'll ever be able to sell a Travis Matthew or a Peter Millar or Footjoy for $35 unless it was like new with tags or something. But that's what I mean when I say that there are better brands, but they're just not as hard. I mean, they're not as easy to find. It took me a long while to find that Roan shirt. Let's see here. Next up was I don't want to sound like a broken record, but a cashmere blazer from Today's Man from the Goodwill bins. Now, this one only sold for 20, but that's because hold on, I lost my light. Hold on, sorry about that. All right. Anyways, that one only sold for 20 because it was just the material that saved it. Today's Man blazer is not that great of a brand. It's basically a nothing brand, but because it had cashmere, and it wasn't even fully cashmere, it was cashmere and wool, so it wasn't even 100% cashmere. But like I said, I got it from the bins for like $2. I didn't mind waiting for the right buyer to come along, and they finally did and took it for 20. So next up, the North Face Bionic Jacket Vest, $22, also from the bins. Nice flip there. And like I said, that goes for the same thing as the other North Face jacket that I was talking about. I know that I'm not going to be able to get that much for it, which I mentioned before, and it shouldn't even be a surprise. You know, you're not going to get top value for a North Face sweater or a jacket in the spring. It's just not going to happen. Next up with his Dooney and Burke handbag. This one took a lot longer to sell than I thought it would have, but this took a few months. But I got it from the bins. Paid like like I said, like $1.50 for it or so. 25, not bad. Next up, what do we have here? We got let's see, scrolling. Okay, last thing that sold for $20 higher was this Orvis cashmere cardigan sweater, and Orvis itself is not that great of a brand in general. I don't really get it that much unless it's something worth getting, like that cashmere sweater. So, and of course, that thing sold within, I want to say, 2 or 3 days from the bin, so it only cost me like $1.50 or so. So, like I said, 1,400 in sales, and after all the fees and everything, my total profit from all of that was $898 for the week. So that was not bad. So, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I have a whole bunch of clothes that I needed to do a haul for. So, with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.